this is going to be difficult to say. When I first started using this recorder, I never thought I would be doing anything serious with it. Not like this, I mean. I always thought our investigations were serious and important, like it mattered that we were proving something's existence. I mean, ghosts are real, but we knew that way before we put it on cassette. We agree that if Bigfoot does exist, and we aren't saying that they do, they should just be left alone. Three-eyed deer who will draw you into the woods to great fortune or great peril. Again, some of us remain unconvinced, but I myself am a believer. The date is April 19th. My best friend, Kitty Scott, has been missing for almost 48 hours, and I have no idea where she is. To say it's unlike her would be a gross understatement, but I guess that's what a lot of people say, right? When people go missing, it seems so unlike them. I can't imagine why. You think you know somebody. But the thing is that I do know Kitty. I know her better than I know anyone in the world, even Isaac, even myself. Her brother James, who can go straight to you-know-where at his earliest possible convenience, he says that she skipped town. And that's what everybody thinks, but it isn't true. I'm sure of it. Kitty wanted to leave, but she wouldn't. She's still here. Somewhere. So, who's on my side? Isaac, for sure. He's known Kitty for her whole life. Well, practically everyone here has. But she's basically lived here for the last 2 years. He's not her best friend, sure, but he is her best friend's uncle and legal guardian, so close enough. Sheriff Hayle will back me up, I bet. She's something of a mystery herself, sure, but when it comes down to it, she is smart as anything and hates James just about as much as I do. Not great for mayoral police relations, but I don't think anybody really cares that much. If I tell her what I know, she'll believe me. Ooh, maybe she'll even let me work the case with her. Oh my god, Kitty will think it's hilarious. Detective Ophelia Joy, Amsterdam PD. Pew, 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 pew. Yeah, I like it. And then there's the new kid. He's already offered to help, which is great news. It's kind of hard to get a read on him, but he seems honest enough. Pretty sharp, nice and all. Maybe I'm not giving him enough credit. We never get new folks in town, so I don't really have a lot of room for comparison. Everyone I know is someone I've known for years, and someone who's known Kitty for years, which can either be very good or very, very bad. She has a very unique and strong personality that I love, obviously. But I guess that's the team. Isaac, Sheriff Hayle, the new kid, and me. Now, I guess we do what detectives do. We look over what we know. We investigate what we don't. We solve the case. Let's break it down.
Bug, I love you, but that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, just think about it.
Ghosts? Why not? Werewolves? Okay, fine. I'll even take a stab at fairies if they aren't the Tinkerbell kind. But what you're spouting is bullshit, babe.
What is so hard to believe about a three-eyed deer?
The three-eyed deer, eerie in its grace, its centerfold eye radiating gold. Beware its gaze, or it may steal thine soul. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a nail that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
Well, when you quote Macbeth, you make it sound stupid.
Shakespeare was right about a good many things.
But this is real. I've been doing research at the library archives.
And you've been sneaking into the library archives when Mrs. Fumero isn't looking.
I've been sneaking into the library archives when Mrs. Fumero isn't looking. And there have been multiple accounts of these deer. Not like on the front page, but still. A lot of people say they felt compelled to follow them into the woods, where great danger surely awaited, or greatest fortune.
You see? How does that not sound fake?
Truth is stranger than fiction, dear.
Listen to us, sounding like an old married couple. And you know what wives do for their wives? They tell them how the Scottish play ends.
They tell them how the Scottish play ends?
Oh, would you? You're a doll.
Okay, you can memorize it. Not even one of the best lines, but you can't bother reading all of it.
Please don't question my genius, Bug. And I know you didn't read it either. You just watched some high school performance on YouTube.
It was meant to be seen and not read anyway. Pretty much everyone dies because McBee isn't fit to be king.
Lady McBee gets obsessive about washing her hands clean of blood and then dies. The witches give old Mickey a prophecy that no man born of a woman can kill him, so Macduff kills him because his mother had a C-section, so he wasn't technically born, so he can kill Macbeth.
Wow. That shit's depressing.
Well, what do you think the tragedy of Macbeth means? It's on the front cover.
Bold of you to assume I read what I don't have to. As exciting and invigorating as this is, I better get going. It's like, midnight. And that essay's due first period. It's not gonna write itself. I would know. I've bet on that happening before. That ending's kind of stupid anyways. Lady McBee could have killed him. She's not a man born of woman, right? A little stab there, a little, I am no man, Lord of the Rings, baby.
Anyone could take me out, honestly.
Like a date or with her sword?
I'm impartial.
I feel it. Hey, we're gonna meet at the Igloo after school, right? You promise a birthday Sunday, and if you fail to complete your end of the bargain, well, you may meet an unfortunate accident.
I won't let you down, boss. Hey, what do I get out of this?
You get to hang out with me. Love you, Bug.
I love you too.
I hate the phrase, the last time I saw her. Let's call it the most recent time instead. It seems more confident. It was the night before her birthday, the 17th. Well, April 17th, and she turned 18 on the 18th. Oh, this could get confusing. Okay, so let's call April 18th the day of the incident, which is also her birthday, but come to think of it, we don't know whether whatever happened on the day of the incident, the 18th. It could have happened very late on the 17th, which is when I saw her most recently. Oh my god, this would be way clearer written down. Curse my dyslexia. Pens are way too slow, and the computer is even slower. Tape, you are the only constant in life. I owe it all to you, buddy. In any case, we don't know when the incident, incited. I used to always ask her to text me when she got home, but she always forgot, so I kind of gave up. I haven't talked to James or Lizzie yet, which is to say that they've tried their best not to talk to me. Sometimes I forget that Lizzie used to be my babysitter. She used to be so cool before she married that D-bag. It's like once they got married, they started sharing all of his baggage. I'm an only child, so maybe I just don't get it, but aren't you supposed to love your siblings? Maybe that's a lie fed to me by years of TV, but I thought the worst of it was supposed to be a few pranks, maybe a scuffle. I've never seen anyone with as bad of a relationship as Kitty and James. I don't think he's ever given a crap about her, and she knows it. It's a wonder the whole town doesn't know it, but he's the golden child. He could probably kill someone and they'd forgive him for it. He wouldn't. Would he? Okay, maybe I need to get a little perspective before I start accusing the mayor of murder. He probably didn't do it, but I wouldn't put it past him, morally speaking. Can you hire a hitman in Ohio? I don't think so, but it might be worth looking into. Ahem. Back on the case. At first, I didn't realize that anything was wrong. We don't have any classes together before lunch, and I didn't see her at our usual table. I asked around, but Cassidy B said that she didn't see her in geometry or English. I texted her during lunch, but she didn't respond in time for the next class. Now, when your friend doesn't show up to school one day, typically your first thought is that she's sick. Maybe she's thrown up or she has a fever. Say it's her birthday, which it was. Maybe she skipped class to play video games all day. It wouldn't be out of character. I, on the other hand, had the initial thought that she had been kidnapped. After she left that night, I admit that I watched a few or a lot of true crime videos online. I couldn't stop thinking about this case, about this girl in the early 2000s. She was a child genius. She played a ton of instruments, that sort of thing. And then one night, a man that once did construction on our family's house broke in through the window and kidnapped her. It took them months to find her, and among other unspeakable things that happened to her, she had been hidden in plain sight. Her kidnapper would dress her up in a disguise, glasses, a wig, a veil, and called her his wife, and hardly anyone was the wiser. The whole thing is pretty scary. No, it's more than that. The idea that it could happen to you or to anyone, even, it keeps you up at night. The idea that there's just something right in front of you, and you just can't see it. better keep my eyes open, I guess.
This is Kitty. Leave a message. Or don't. The choice is yours. Use it wisely. This is Kitty. Leave a message. This is Kitty.
Sorry, man. Cash only.
Wait, for real?
That's what it says on the sign. We don't even have a card reader.
Okay. Then you can just keep it, I guess.
Oh, hey, wait, I can cover for you.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a tornado with M&Ms. Those things are like $2. It's not a big deal.
I can pay you back, I promise.
Deal. And can I get 2 sundaes, the works?
Sure thing, Ophelia.
Ophelia?
Oh, it's a nickname. The whole thing is Ophelia Florence Joy, which is why I usually just go by Fee.
Yeah, that checks out. I'm Liam. Summers. Liam Ferdinand, if you want the whole thing.
I must say, that's a pretty good one.
Thanks, I picked it out myself and everything.
You're not from around here, are you? Not to be weird, but I would remember seeing you. We don't get a ton of fresh faces outside of summer fair season.
I was hoping it wouldn't be so obvious, but yeah, my parents and I just moved here. Yesterday, actually.
I didn't see any moving trucks. Where are you?
Birch Street. On the other side of downtown from here, I think.
2 Sundays plus a tornado, that's 7.
Here. That's a really nice area. You might be neighbors with my best friend. Have you met Kitty yet?
You're actually the first person I've really talked to here. We just got to town last night, and we had to switch banks when we moved here, right? So I don't have an account at the new bank, and I spent all my cash on road trip snacks. Hence the credit card fiasco and my debt to you.
I was kind of hoping you'd met her. She hasn't been responding to me all day.
Is she Sunday number 2?
Yep. You know, this could really work out well for both of us. Do you want to ride home? Like I said, the new kid is pretty cool. He's from New York, the city, not just the state, which automatically makes him the coolest person I know. Kitty would kick me for even daring to imply that it isn't her, but she's never even left this town, so that's that. I mean, Aunt Jen is from Jersey, but it's not quite the same. You technically aren't supposed to be on the phone while you're driving, but I figured I would make an exception while I drove the new kid home to call James's office and see what was what. His assistant Janet definitely knows that he has something out for me. She didn't even bother giving me some dumb excuse like he was in a meeting. She just put me on hold for the whole 10-minute drive to Birch Street. Birch. You know, there is a scathing rhyming joke that I could make, but hey, high road. As I guessed, Liam now lives right next door to the Scott residence. I say right next door as though there isn't 3 acres between every house on that road. It isn't a very neighborly area, but then again, neither is my house, so I have no room to talk. Macy answered Kitty's door. She's about 6 or 7 now, and she's already really smart. Kitty loves those kids, Macy and Junior, which is why when Lizzie came to the door and told me that Kitty hadn't come home that night, I got out of there pretty quickly. I think kids understand more than we give them credit for. Sheriff Hayle? Sheriff Hayle! I'm fine.
Jesus, kid. Almost made me drop my tea. What's got you screaming?
Kitty,
Pete, what's wrong?
Uncle Isaac, what are you doing here?
I got off early. I'm having tea with a friend. Ophelia, what's going on?
Kitty didn't make it home last night. Sheriff Hayle, she was over at my house until maybe midnight, and then she left, and I didn't hear from her, and then her Sunday melted. So I went to her house, and Lizzie said she didn't come back, and not to jump to conclusions, but...
Let's take a deep breath, okay? You're not just jumping, you're headed for the trampoline. You sure she's not just at a friend's house?
Sheriff, you know Kitty and I aren't the kind of people to have 2 whole friends. We refer to those as backup buds.
Have you talked to James?
I tried. It went about as well as you would expect.
I'll probably have better luck. You said you saw her last night?
Yeah. Hey, here's an idea. I'll head along Mulberry and see if I can spot any clues, maybe talk to some neighbors. I bet Angela Bryant saw her drive by. That woman is always up late.
I don't think so. Isaac's gonna drive you home, and you're gonna stay there. You've had enough excitement for today, I think.
Sorry? I'm not just gonna sit down while Kitty's God knows where. What if she's hurt or scared?
Young lady, are you doubting my ability to do my job?
I mean, a little.
Ophelia, I've known you for a long time. And I like to think I know you pretty well. You and Kitty both. And if there's one thing I know, it's that you're going to try to take this into your own hands. How many times have I caught you hopping my back fence?
Only like 3 times. 4 tops.
This isn't the case of the missing garden rake, you hear me? We don't quite know what this is yet, but if it's serious business, I can't get a civilian tangled up in it all. Not only for your sake, I need you to think of Kitty. If you start poking your nose where it doesn't belong, I don't know what could happen.
Sounds like a threat.
Jesus, Joy, you know I didn't mean it like that.
Come on, both of you. Nothing's getting done just standing here.
Fine. But you'll let me know if you find anything, right?
Sure, kid. Sure.
How about we go home? I think there's some pizza in the fridge.
Okay.
Just watch, Ophelia. They're gonna be okay.
As you can probably guess, I didn't get a lot of sleep that night. Maybe 3 hours, tops. I didn't hear from Sheriff Hayle that afternoon, but later that night, Isaac told me that James had no idea where Kitty was either. They didn't find her car, cell phone, nothing. It's like she was whisked away. Not in Kansas anymore. Now there's just hoping and waiting. Wow, I couldn't even convince myself for 5 seconds, huh? I know the sheriff has good intentions, but she's got to be the dumbest person alive if she thinks that I'm going to sit back like a good little girl while she does all the work. I've got a good brain and a car and a tape recorder. I know Amsterdam like I know my own brain, and I know Kitty even better. I've got, goodness and the power of love on my side. That's all it takes, right? Let's get her done.
I'd like to thank everyone who came out to this preliminary search. As you know, Kitty Scott has been declared missing as of yesterday, presumably since very early that morning. Now, Kitty is no longer a minor, so no Amber Alert has been issued, but her safe recovery is still an APD priority. We will now be breaking into small groups of 2 or 3 to comb the area between the Scott residence on Birch Street and Foxhole Road. We've passed out maps with individual areas highlighted. Those will be your search areas. The whole thing should be about 5 square miles. If you find anything suspicious, please let the police department know as soon as possible, and an officer will be dispatched. Sound good?
Hey, Ophelia. Fee.
Liam? Hey.
Do you have a search partner yet?
Well, I was with my uncle, but I think he's gone off somewhere. You can be with me if you want.
Great, thanks. I just wanted you to know that I'm sorry about this whole thing. I know you're best friends and all.
Yeah, we're pretty iconic. Dynamic duo kind of thing. Sunday number 2.
It really sucks then, that she would just leave like that.
So that is what people are saying. That she's a runaway.
I mean, yeah. Just from what I've heard, it doesn't seem like she had a whole lot of Amsterdam spirit.
Well, that much is true. She doesn't.
But you don't think she ran?
Even better, I know she didn't.
Then what happened to her? Maybe it's just me, but if it were my best friend, I would rather she have run away than anything else. Better out there and free than here and hurt, you know? But I'm sure she's fine.
I know that Kitty wouldn't leave voluntarily because I'm still here. She wouldn't run away, not without me. Kitty is in Amsterdam, and I'm going to find her. Just watch. This episode of Have You Seen Me was written by Emma Quinn and directed by Lauren Miles. It starred Emma Quinn as Ophelia Joy, Tobias Paul as Liam Summers, Gina Moravec as Sheriff Hayle, Jared Bruett as Isaac Joy, Lauren Miles as the Igloo employee, and featured Kashia Ellis-Taylor as Kitty Scott. This episode was recorded at Red Hawk Radio with sound production by Mikel Praeter. If you like what we do and want to support us financially, please consider becoming a donor on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Go to patreon.com/HYSMpod to learn more. If you would like to support us emotionally, consider leaving us a rating and review on iTunes. Follow us at HYSMpod on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, or at Have You Seen Me podcast on Facebook. We would love to hear from you. Thank you for listening, and keep your eyes open.